You were what? So, Bitcoin, huh? The significance of Bitcoin and what it represents depends entirely on who you ask. Some see it as a revolutionary form of currency. Others treat it as an investment asset, a way to hedge against inflation or ride the wave of modern finance. And for a growing group, Bitcoin is viewed as a dramatic transfer of wealth from the old monetary system to a brand new one. Legally, even regulators still struggle to decide what Bitcoin really is. Is it money? Is it a commodity? An asset class? The answer depends on the perspective you take. Yet despite this uncertainty, the mania surrounding Bitcoin has been undeniable. At its core, Bitcoin is a new form of digital currency. But unlike traditional money, it doesn't need a bank, a government, or any other central authority to operate. Transactions are carried out directly between individuals in what's called a decentralized network, a blockchain. This system is designed to be secure, transparent, and resistant to manipulation. Every transaction is recorded in a public ledger that can't be easily altered, and the rules of supply are built directly into the code. Unlike fiat currencies, which can be printed endlessly, Bitcoin is capped at 21 million coins. That's it. No more, no less. When Bitcoin's market cap crossed $100 billion in October of 2017, it was larger than some of the world's most famous corporations, including Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, and Netflix. Fast forward a bit, and Bitcoin's market value soared past $300 billion, with single coins trading at tens of thousands of dollars. For perspective, Bitcoin at one point was about 40% the size of Apple and more than 70% the size of Amazon. But compared to gold, it was still tiny, only around 3% of gold's market value. That gap highlights both how small Bitcoin still is in the grand scheme of things and how much potential growth enthusiasts believe is possible. But size isn't the only staggering number. The energy consumption to mine Bitcoin globally has at times surpassed that of entire countries. It takes an estimated 14,000 kilowatt hours to mine just one Bitcoin. That's enough electricity to power the average U.S. household for over a year. Since its creation in 2009, Bitcoin has quietly become the sixth most circulated currency in the world. Millions of people now hold Bitcoin, with exchange platforms like Coinbase reporting explosive growth. At one point in late 2017, Coinbase was adding nearly 200,000 new users every single day. Even the famous Winklevoss twins, who once sued Mark Zuckerberg over Facebook, became the first Bitcoin billionaires after investing $11 million back when the price was just $260 per coin. Bitcoin even found its way into the futures market in December 2017, cementing its place in mainstream finance. Institutions that once dismissed it as a fad suddenly wanted in, either to profit or to gain control over its influence. The attention didn't stop at Wall Street. Central banks worldwide began studying Bitcoin and blockchain technology. The Federal Reserve published papers on the subject, and the Reserve Bank of Australia openly discussed the possibility of launching its own cryptographic currency. These moves highlight a paradox. Bitcoin was designed as a decentralized alternative to traditional banking. Yet the very institutions it was meant to challenge are now exploring ways to adopt or co-opt the technology behind it. In the early years, Bitcoin's adopters came from four main groups: geeks and hobbyists. They loved the idea of using computers to generate currency, and back then, even a basic home PC could mine a decent amount of Bitcoin when it was worth just 5 cents. Anarcho-capitalists, often anti-government, they celebrated Bitcoin's decentralized and anonymous design. For them, it was freedom from the traditional financial system. Criminals, Drawn to its anonymity, they used Bitcoin on platforms like Silk Road to purchase illegal goods, ranging from drugs to firearms. Libertarians. They saw Bitcoin as an antidote to central banks and their ability to print endless amounts of fiat money. A limited fixed supply currency was appealing to anyone wary of inflation and financial manipulation. These groups helped Bitcoin survive its fragile beginnings. For years, the price remained relatively stable until media attention and rising demand ignited a frenzy. Today, most new investors don't fully understand Bitcoin's technology or ideology. They see headlines about people making fortunes, watch the price climbing, and simply don't want to be left out. This herd mentality drives rapid adoption, but also creates massive speculation. Speculation, of course, is one of the defining features of a bubble, and many believe Bitcoin is exactly that, a bubble waiting to burst. But others argue it's different this time. Currently, Bitcoin still makes up less than 0.1% of the value of all major global assets. That leaves room for growth, at least in theory. And with Bitcoin being far easier to buy than stocks or bonds, this speculative bubble could last much longer than skeptics expect. Despite its meteoric rise, Bitcoin faces real challenges. One major issue is the deflationary spending problem. As the price continues to climb, people hoard their coins instead of using them. Bitcoin risks becoming a digital version of gold. Valuable, yes, but not widely used as an everyday currency. Another looming issue is competition. Bitcoin may have been the first cryptocurrency, but many argue it won't be the last to dominate. Faster, more efficient coins with better technical designs could one day knock it off the throne. Still, the growth is astonishing. In 2011, one Bitcoin cost just 5 cents. By early 2017, it had reached $800. By the end of that same year, it was trading near $17,000. Those numbers are almost hard to believe, yet they're real. What started as a niche experiment has transformed into a global financial phenomenon. And whether you see it as a bubble, a revolution, or a scam, Bitcoin has already changed the world. Bitcoin is, without a doubt, one of the most fascinating inventions of the 21st century. It challenges the very definition of money, pushes governments and banks to adapt, and inspires both utopian dreams and apocalyptic warnings. Maybe it will collapse tomorrow. Maybe it will pave the way for a future where decentralized finance becomes the norm. Either way, its story is far from over. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.